So this video isn't really supposed to be a tutorial on the writing process or anything like that because we're all different. It's more supposed to be a sign that if you have a project, whether that's creative writing or a college essay, schoolwork, or anything like that, that this could be your opportunity to start that project. Because the hardest thing to do is to start. And I would like us to start together. So I like to get a little bit of fresh air in the morning if I can, even when it's cold. And this morning I was lucky to have some sunshine, so I took advantage of that and had a little relax. I let my hair air dry. Listen to the birds. Wow. They're really out today. I've just spotted what type of birds they are. It's a bunch of starlings. They're so cute. I like to treat myself with a nice breakfast once a week of French toast, especially before a writing session. It's good to be well fueled. So let's prepare our writing space together. I like to keep mine uncluttered personally, and I love the scent of baby powder, so I have this cleaning spray that makes my writing space smell really nice. Yeah, let's prepare. This is my little desk, and as I said, I try to keep it uncluttered, but I do have a few favorite things, and I also have my favorite little book, The Frog's Guide to Self-Care, which is genuinely really wonderful book. And Joe, the emotional support caterpillar, right at my side for when I need some emotional support. Important to have these things when we are writing darker scenes. I also like to set the mood, so let's set the mood together with some incense and some candles. These smells invoke sort of concentration in me, so I like to have some unique things for my area, my focus area, and these sort of scents and things just put me in the mindset and the atmosphere of I'm going to try to concentrate and do some evocative writing. So checking our notes before we start is always really important. Anything we've written from the previous day or any research we have to do, things like that are always a good way to start to kind of reacquaint yourself with what we're trying to do today. So I was personally writing a chapter. I'm getting towards the end of my sequel book, so I have to remind myself of some of the lore that I was going to put into this chapter and character beats, things like that. Important to remember. Continuing to flick through and just get into the mindset of that world and all the beloved characters that I have written that feel so close to me. And then I'm going to start to... oh yes, I have to show off my lovely laptop stickers. I'm going to start to boot up and get ready. So if you're following along with me so far, this is the part when we're actually going to start. We're going to start tipping away and start the writing process. And remember, I only do about an hour at a time before taking a break, so remember to pace yourselves and remember not to be hard on yourself. Whatever you manage to do, whether it's an hour, 20 minutes, even 15 minutes, whatever you can do is always an achievement and it's always worthy. So yeah, let yourself just drift off into that creative zone. So after a vigorous brain exercise, I like to check in with my body. So either before or in between writing sessions, I like to do some of my yoga practice. I've been doing yoga for a couple of years, but I've really started to make it part of my everyday routine recently. And normally I would not be wearing socks, but I wanted to show off my mushroom socks. But yeah, I always find that getting some exercise or going outside, having some yoga, or anything like that that connects you and grounds you with your body can really help invigorate your imagination and make you feel good. It's definitely a good way of kind of shaking off the last writing session and helping you focus on your next one. Mushroom socks. I love them. It's the little things. So I get back into writing for another few hours. I light some more incense, and of course, your atmospheric item of choice does not need to be incense or anything like that. It's whatever works for you, and we are all different. Sometimes I don't put in all this effort, sometimes I just write in bed because the ideas are coming. So, you know, whenever that happens, it doesn't always have to be glamorous. But yeah, if you're writing along with me, we will continue to write now and see how it goes. And yes, if you may have noticed, I only type with 2 fingers, and I'm not the quickest typist either, but that's not what writing's all about. It's probably not best practice, but if you want to look at it this way, you do not need to be the perfect typist or any of those things to write a story or an essay or whatever you're working on. So we're gonna take a break again, and on my days off from writing, I do enjoy going out into nature and going on walks, because I find that it often gives me some of my best ideas, because you go into a very contemplative state of mind and you're just sort of allowing yourself to observe. And I always bring my notebooks everywhere I go so I can jot down things, even if it's just little descriptors, because honestly, nature is where I feel the most comfortable, and a nice crisp evening walk always gives me a lot of creative inspiration. I get all of my inspiration from nature, so, and I bet that you do too, to an extent. A lot of us do, you know. I think we're all creatures of nature when it comes down to it. But there's still a lot of beauty to be found in the city as well. For these contemplative little walks, I find a lot of beautiful nature is in the sort of urban areas near where I live, with the trees and the ivy, and on a nice day especially, you can definitely just go out and observe and see what you find. So on the next day, I started out by doing some yoga, and I did slightly more energizing yoga that day, because because I wanted to, get myself invigorated, get some energy and fire in there, and just kind of get myself ready for the day. I feel like no matter what your job is, if you have to sit at a desk for a long period of time, it's always good to try to move your body. I've just managed to start getting my partner to do some yoga with me, which is really cool. And he works as an animator, so he has to sit at a desk a lot. Oh, and Spuddy is a very important partner when doing yoga. I was having some problems with my shoulders that day, so I made sure to get an especially deep stretch in my upper body to help me with all the sitting down I would be doing. And yes, that is Brian watching Community in the background. Now let's get our space ready again with whatever little rituals that you need for that space to make yourself feel comfortable and cozy and concentrated. And while I'm doing my writing sessions, you can pause the video and do your own until you're ready to have your break. So I'm gonna get myself a weighted blanket because it was actually very cold that day and I thought I needed some extra comfort. And I'm gonna write out my notes before I start, because that day I had a chapter that I hadn't really planned particularly well, so I needed to get some extra note taking at the start to make sure I knew exactly what I needed to do in that writing session. So in this section you can also do things like read into your research, look certain things up, certain phrases, and for me, certain folklore, things like that. But yeah, I just needed to do a lot of note-taking. Now that I'm finished, let's get started on the main body of writing for today. I'm gonna get my laptop booted up and get myself ready for this song and dance that we do once more. And you're gonna get yourselves all ready too, all motivated. Let's do this. And never forget to plug in your laptop if you're using a laptop, because sometimes you'll be midway into a writing session and suddenly you'll have no battery and it's very stressful. So yes, this is what we must do. And let's get some good work done. During my break that day, we decided to connect with some of the local wildlife, local cats. There's some really cute cats who are all around where I live, so we're gonna say hi and give them a little love. I'm not always a cat person, but I'm coming around to cats. My favorite animals have always been rats, and cats tend to eat them, but yeah, they're winning me over. And that day I decided to make some cinnamon rolls from scratch, cinnamon buns, and they were so good. It is always nice when you can get yourself a little baked treat as a reward, or some kind of nice snack in between writing. So we're gonna get back into it for the final push, just another hour or another 20 minutes, whatever you feel like doing, and we're going to do one final writing for the evening, and then we'll be all done. And if you followed along, really, really grateful. I hope it helped. And reward yourself with some blueberries or whatever snacks you have in the house. Thank you everybody so much, and happy writing.